We are already in September, when the weather is still pleasant. We still have some warm days, but the chilly mornings are already whispering that fall is coming. Even though I really love my fruity summer fragrances, I'm getting more and more excited about to revisit some thicker, heavier, maybe a little bit gourmand scents. Today, in this video, I will talk about transitioning scents for the upcoming period. This is going to be the designer version, and I am going to bring you 10 designer fragrances that will be perfect for this season. Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Diana, and I am a fragrance enthusiast who has been collecting fragrances over the last 5 years. Here on this channel, we talk about all fragrances. It doesn't matter if it's niche, designer or Middle Eastern, the ultimate goal is just to smell good and feel good. So I just filmed the niche version of this video and I realized at the end that I only had 9 fragrances in that one instead of 10. Now here we will have an honorable mention, so I hope that it will even out this small mistake. So today we will talk about 10 plus 1 fragrances here. So let's start then with the honorable mention. I wanted, but I kinda also didn't want to include this fragrance in this recommendation video. It is the very well known and very well loved Burberry Goddess, the original rendition of the fragrance that came out about 2 years ago. I think everyone loves it and almost everyone wears it. So even though I love it, I'm not reaching for it too much, as usually I like smelling a bit more unique. Burberry Goddess is just the perfect all year round vanilla that has a little bit of touch of lavender and a bit of spiciness delivered by the ginger. It is feminine, seductive, but still innocent. It is warm, inviting and approachable. Not too loud, not too strong. So if you love vanillas and you haven't smelled Goddess, which I doubt, then just get your nose on it. So this was Burberry Goddess, an honorable mention. So the first fragrance in my designer selection is going to be Perfect Intense from Marc Jacobs. This fragrance came out about 3 or 4 years ago, so it is definitely not new, and we have received at least 2 new flankers to the Perfect line in the meantime. But I still find myself reaching for this one the most. It has the notes of narcissus, night blooming jasmine, almond and sandalwood. Somehow the combination of the notes remind me to a banana milkshake, made it in a very perfumey way. I heard people say that they smell mango instead of banana. Now, I'm not sure if it is because the juice is yellow and there is also a banana on the cap, but I still rather smell a banana touch instead of the mango. It is not too deep. It is for the days when you want to wear some creamy, fruity fragrances that will still not to be too strong. So this one, the Perfect Intense, is great for the transitioning into the cooler days, and when fall hits us, you can switch to Perfect Elixir and Absolute. So this was Perfect Intense. My next recommendation is Prada Paradoxe Intense. It is the grown-up sexy sister of the original Paradoxe. It is fruity, floral, but still deep and mysterious. It has the top notes of pear, neroli and bergamot. The middle notes are jasmine, moss and neroli, and the base notes are bourbon vanilla, amber and ambrofix. It is bold, earthy and intense. I recommend it to those ones who like the Paradoxe scent profile and want something deeper for fall. The oak moss really takes this scent profile to the next level. It is also a tried and true going out scent for me, which has a very good projection and lasting power. This one is also one of the most used fragrances in my collection, and it is definitely a compliment getter. By the way, I tried the Radical Essence version of it, and while the dry down was quite pretty, the opening really turned me off. It smelled like burnt nuts or burnt popcorn to my nose, and I was quite disappointed. But luckily we have Paradoxe Intense, which is lovely. another Prada fragrance, but this is from their Infusion line. This is Infusion de Amande. Hope I pronounce it well. It is for the clean girls who would like to smell delectable but still soft. It features the notes of almond, heliotrope, musk, tonka bean and bergamot. It is a very sweet, powdery, a kind of marzipan-like scent with a hint of citruses in the opening. The dry down is quite simple, reminds me of a fluffy almond flavored sponge cake. It is very cloud-like, soft, very cozy and very easy to wear. I can imagine wearing this scent to the office or while running errands or just chilling at home with your loved ones. The Infusion line usually has lighter scents, but I still find their longevity quite nice. These fragrances tend to linger around for good 4 to 5 hours at least. So this was Infusion de Amande. This would not be a designer recommendation without Tom Ford. I know that their prices are often not justified, but they still carry some classic scents that I just cannot skip mentioning. The most obvious one is Lost Cherry. For me, cherry scents shine during late summer and fall. They carry some depth that perfectly complements the time of the year. I don't think that I need to introduce Lost Cherry to you. It is a quite complex fragrance with a lot of notes, but the key players are basically black cherry, bitter almond, cherry liqueur, sour cherry, vanilla and tonka bean. This was the fragrance that started all the cherry fragrances, and thanks to Lost Cherry we have now probably a dozen of different cherry fragrances in our collection. At least I do. Often the complaint about this scent is the longevity. I think I'm the exception in this case, as this scent is lingering around for a good 4 hours at least for me. So this is Lost Cherry. Another Tom Ford creation that I don't hear people talking about is Soleil de Feau, that translates as fiery sun. It is indeed a very warm, thick, spicy white floral fragrance. It has sandalwood, amber, benzoin and tuberose. To my nose, there is something like a kind of cinnamon touch in the opening, which transforms into a bit dry but still creamy sandalwood. I do not smell too much of the tuberose. I believe it is just sweetening up the fragrance. In overall, this perfume smells like a warm chai latte to me, a little bit warmer and much thicker and less sweet version of Gris Charnel. I find it very addictive. Due to the dryness of the wood, it would smell beautiful on a man, but I can also pull this off on a more chilly day. So this was Soleil de Feau. Going back to the bit lighter and easier going fragrances, my next recommendation would be Donna Born in Roma, the Intense version, which is the deeper sister of Donna Born in Roma, with bourbon, vanilla, amber, jasmine and benzoin. It is quite simple, very much candy-like, with a beautiful soapy jasmine, which is not sharp at all. I find this one sweeter than Born in Roma, and obviously this one doesn't have that fruitiness. It is a bit similar to Angel Elixir, but I find the jasmine a bit more prominent in Born in Roma Intense, and this one is a bit sweeter as well. Similarly to Paradoxe Intense, I recommend this perfume to the ones who like the typical modern designer fruity floral fragrances and are looking for something deeper for the cooler days. So this was Donna Born in Roma Intense. Before we move on to the next one, I would like to ask you to take a moment and hit the like button if you are enjoying this video. And if you want to see more of me, then also please consider to subscribe. The next one is a newer release that I reviewed a couple of days ago. It is the new signature Elixir from Montblanc. This is basically the deeper, sexier version of the original signature. It has the notes of red orchid, vanilla and amber wood. It carries some resinous touches and the amber wood is quite prominent. However, it still has the signature DNA. In my review, I also mentioned that I expected a bit thicker vanilla. However, I feel that the vanilla remains quite light only sweetens the fragrance but doesn't add any significant texture. The overall scent experience is dark but yet airy and musky. For me, this one is one of the most interesting designer releases of the year so far. So this is Signature Elixir. In my other two videos, I was featuring rather creamy rose fragrances. However, I believe that darker rose scents are also perfect when we are entering into fall. Chloe has come out with a new flanker to their classic Chloe line, which is Chloe Le Parfum. And I did not really hear anyone talking about this one. I only got to know about this because I was lucky enough to receive a perfume from Influencer in exchange for a review on their website. I have no obligation to include this perfume in this video or make any further content about it. This one is a very warm and intense rose vanilla scent with the notes of rose, orange blossom, vanilla and tonka. To my nose, it is the same ballpark as Roses Vanille or Intense Café. Quite thick, sweet, rose vanilla with a deeper tonka note in this case, instead of the coffee. If you like how the roses smell in Chloe fragrances, then this one is definitely worth a try. Also, the longevity is a solid 5 hours with good projection, and after that the scent fades and becomes a skin scent for another 1 or 2 hours. So this is Chloe Le Parfum. The next one is a vanilla scent from Van Cleef & Arpels. It is the well-known Orchidée Vanille, which is one of the best vanillas out there in my opinion. It is sweet, a bit powdery with a hint of almond and some slight booziness. It features the notes of mandarin, lychee, bitter almond, Bulgarian rose, violet, vanilla absolute, tonka bean and cedar. It has quite some notes, but they are so well blended that I cannot really detect the flowers or the fruits. They are just making the composition different from a typical gourmand vanilla. It is also not too thick and punchy. It is ideal for this time of the year when we are transitioning into fall, but it will be still a companion later the year as well. It has rather moderate projection and longevity. It is also ideal for formal occasions and great for also layering. It is definitely a staple in my collection. So this was Orchidée Vanille. The last one is also a cherry fragrance, however the cherry here is only a fruity addition to the original fragrance. The scent that I'm talking about is Black Opium over Red, which opens up with a very bright cherry in combination with the green mandarin. The cherry here is not boozy, it is rather ripe and juicy. As the scent dries down, the mid and base notes will start to shine with jasmine, orange blossom, coffee, vanilla and patchouli. Basically, after a few minutes, the cherry fades and the classic Black Opium DNA comes out to play. The cherry will still stay for a while, but it will be very much in the background to give a scent a light fruity touch. In general, I really like it. I don't have any problems with the original Black Opium, so I think I'm gonna be very happy to wear this again in this season. So this was Black Opium over Red. So this was it for today. Have you tried any of these perfumes? Which fragrances are you going to use during this transitional season? Please let me know in the comments, and until the next time, bye bye.